I really hope that our members of Congress, our elected representatives, are going to stand up and say enough is enough and stop making apologies and excuses for things that are happening that really flout, I think, our system of laws and government here.
When you say enough is enough, if he's fired, and he's the president of the United States, he could tell Rosenstein to fire him if he wants. But if he's fired, what would you want Congress to do?
Well, first of all, I think it's the obligation of some executive branch officials to refuse to carry out some of these orders that, again, are inconsistent with what this country is all about.
The Pentagon war planners have rightfully said that 90% of modern warfare is informational. That's why it's more important than ever that all of you watching subscribe on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at Real Alex Jones, because InfoWars is the front line of the fight. And without your help and support, we will fail. With your support and with your prayers, we will be victorious against the globalists together. Well, I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's either America's brightest hour or we're going into this republic's darkest hour. Thank you so much for joining us on this worldwide global transmission. Already Wednesday, July 26, 2017. You know why they hate me? You know why they now have an entire new Comedy Central show with Deadline Hollywood and Variety having the headline, New Comedy Central Show to air nightly, to be based on Alex Jones, with their comedian, quote, playing the part of Alex Jones. And they will say things and do things every night that I haven't said or I haven't done to create branding with the type of mentally retarded people that believe and watch their channel. And again, I'm not making fun of real people that are mentally retarded. I'm talking about people that have been induced into these comas. They will then simultaneously have news headlines saying that I'm delusional when I criticize it, and they'll say it's not based on me, just like Homeland and all the other programs or Tuck Bugford. Now, why are they doing this? Because they are scared of the very specifics I'm breaking down. The reason I point that out is people need to understand we have their plan, we know their plan, and they just want you to never look at the plan so that they can basically have air superiority politically. And that's why you notice, you see the former CIA director that told President Trump 2 days before he was inaugurated to watch his mouth. To watch his mouth. Now, he's telling the American people and the voters to watch their mouths. This same globalist operative, you cannot make this up, who lived for 12 years in Saudi Arabia and who worked with the former FBI director to take radical Islam off the FBI's training list, where they couldn't even use the term radical Islam. This creature has come out and called for a coup. Now, that's him saying a coup. That's a military overthrow. Because he knows that the American people are awake. He knows the Republicans are going to win the House next year. Again, all the demographics show it. All the numbers, all the actuaries, all the bots, all the AI. It shows a total realignment. A total realignment. People get that Trump's our figurehead. They get he's not perfect, but they get that they're targeting him to bring us all down. And people get he's a champion, and he's gotten so much done, it brings tears to my eyes, quite frankly. This is so epic, so real. We've gone from such betrayal, such fakeness, such garbage, to him battling like a lion with hundreds of mangy hyenas biting him at every level, and we're sitting there like spectators bitching that, oh, where's my tax cut? Where's my Obamacare repeal? When he's already killed everything else he could with executive order and executive action and courage, and has them openly saying, kill him everywhere. Oh, and of course, get me, destroy me, kill me, put me in prison, and go after everybody else. You notice a lot of other folks are getting intimidated right now. They're kind of pulling back, not being as hardcore. People are hedging their bets. You don't hedge your bets with this. You hedge your bets, we lose everything. I've been hammering that they're planning a coup since the day he was elected. And I laid out exactly what they do because I know how the system works. I know how they would do it. I know how they've done it in other countries and what they've set up here. So it's not, see, I told you so. We're the opposite of fake news. We're super hardcore, on target, news and information, and that's why they're so scared. There's an old saying, he's got your number, or they've got your number. We've got their number. Having somebody's number means you got their address, you know their shoe size, you know how tall they are, you know what they eat in their cornflakes, you know how big their ding-ding is, you know who their mommy was with. We got their number. Our big victory is that we're willing to be criticized and being attacked for saying things first that are shocking and controversial, like there are plans to use continuity of government systems that are in place in case the government's decapitated from a nuclear attack to basically overthrow Trump and the duly elected government. Now, we knew that that would be their attack profile, and then we began to see them start promoting it in the Financial Times of London, New Yorker Magazine, Foreign Affairs, Public Affairs, and, of course, Atlantic Monthly in the last 4 months. Now, we have Clapper coming out yesterday, the same guy that said Trump should watch his mouth and then was shocked when Trump fired him, saying that there should be a coup against Trump. But first, let's play a boil down of the last month of Sean Hannity and Lou Dobbs and others saying point blank there's a clear and present danger and an ongoing plan to overthrow the president. And then, of course, the Washington Post came out and said, oh, Hannity is in Alex Jones territory. He's a kook. He's a loon. Okay, you guys are in major newspapers and magazines, but they are elite publications, point blank saying we've got our people in the deep state. It's time to overthrow Trump. Suddenly, physically. We're talking serious crime they're talking about here. And then they plan to shut down the independent media. They plan to go and say all the Republicans that got elected in the last Congress are going to be removed or subject to a new election that federalized, Democrat-run Homeland Security oversees. We'll be like Venezuela. We'll never have a real election again. This is happening. I said it first because I knew we had to say it, and now you notice they're in the news saying it. So I wasn't wrong. Sean Hannity wasn't wrong. Lou Dobbs wasn't wrong. Former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich, wasn't wrong. We're telling you word for word what they're doing. And again, I keep saying I told you first because they've got shows every day attacking me. They got programs lying about us every day because they have to destroy us politically because we're on target. The good news is the more people realize I'm right, and the more now Rush Limbaugh basically listens to the show or has his folks do it and goes and checks out what I say and then looks it up for himself and then goes on air and says the exact same thing. That's how I protect my family. I don't want to be the only guy out here knocking grand slams every day, okay? I want everybody to wake up, people to understand the game, understand how the scam works, and then it's game over. I want to win. I want to be made obsolete. Do you understand? I do not want to be the cutting edge, tip of the spear. That's how we get killed. That's how we get shut down, and they win. I must be made obsolete to win. I want to be obsolete. Now, at this point, I'm not obsolete. I am the cutting edge, as I've been for 20 years, okay? We are, and I've been learning for 20 years. Now we are cutting edge. We are very cutting edge, and that's why they hate us. It's why they have a whole new Comedy Central show coming out where they say it's based on me, just like Colbert was supposed to be Bill O'Reilly. Okay, word for word, a show every night saying, I'm Alex Jones, and I hate this, I hate that, total lies. I'm not even going to say what they're going to say. We know what they're going to say. They'll take that out of context. This is what they're doing to lie to you and to lie to the American people. But let's play a short boil down of the last few months of folks talking about the coup plan. Now, the former head of the CIA that told Trump to watch his mouth 2 days before Trump got inaugurated, he got shocked when 3 days after Trump was in office, he fired him. This guy worked to have the Arab Spring and turn the Middle East over to Wahhabist. This guy lived in Saudi Arabia for 12 years. People thought it was some cover that he went and became a Muslim. He did go to the ceremonies. He did become a Muslim in the mosque of the Saudi royal family. And folks said, oh, that's just a CIA guy doing that as, you know, as just infiltrate. No, he went native. They've got all the money. He is absolutely, probably wipes his hand, you know, wipes his butt with his left hand, something, you know, we're all big fans of around here. I'm serious. I mean, he probably, you know, probably has a Somali bride. The whole point is we love our Somalis. We love our Muslims too. Oh, they're so good. Oh, they're so sweet. And I'm not putting up with it anymore. I used to hear there was this big double cross coming 20 years ago from the Muslims that the left was going to side with them. And I said, there's no way. They throw gays off buildings. They murder people. Women can't drive cars. And then the leftist media won't cover. I'm going to play this clip today. Women burning their hijabs all over Iraq, all over the Middle East. And they're linking to InfoWars stories. They're saying we want feminists to stand up for us. We want women in America to stand up for us. They hear myself and Bill Maher, to his credit, and many others saying, look, you can't sit there and claim you're feminist or for women and then have USA Today say wear a hijab for solidarity with women and have Linda Sarsour, who's into genital mutilation and, you know, never criticizes the enslavement and murder of women and gays and all the rest of it, being the leader of the feminist movement. This is sick mental illness. And there's no feminist or no liberal groups going, oh, look, women are burning their burqas and their hijabs in liberated areas of Iraq and Syria, in areas where they never had to wear them before. They got overrun and enslaved and raped. No coverage of that on CNN by that little CIA twit, Anderson Cooper, or any of these people. And Anderson Cooper is a perfect example. They'll go, Jones is crazy and says he's CIA. He's admittedly CIA. He was in the CIA. He's always been in it. What do you think CNN is? It's a bunch of leftist foundation people that have taken control of the CIA, basically, and all, because they all want to be like tough guys, so they all like want their little CIA decoder ring or whatever. Most of them can't even literally, you know, tie their own shoelaces. They're such inbred blue bloods, and you've got all that happening, and they go, oh, he's not CIA, like you're an idiot and can't look it up. Or, oh, Jones is crazy. There's no coup plan. No, you just tried to steal the nomination from Trump. Then you tried to have faithless electors to steal the seating of him. Then you've been calling for his death, his murder, his overthrow, and then have people shopping at former deputy defense secretaries are in foreign affairs shopping it at the Pentagon of how to overthrow Trump. They're walking around in offices saying we should have a military overthrow, trying to legitimize it. I mean, that woman doing that should have been grabbed and tried immediately, or at that level been given, I mean, I'm just telling you what would happen in any other country. She gets cement shoes, you know, walking around at the Pentagon saying we need to overthrow Trump in a violent operation. I mean, these people they want violence. They're openly saying they want to arrest everybody, shut down the press. They want me dead. And then they're shocked when I'm up here saying, okay, well, we better have Trump get the public ready to arrest these people. It's only like 1,000 of them. Give them trials and then put them in prison or teach people a lesson. I mean, I'm the opposite of a fascist, ladies and gentlemen. These are the fascists. They have to be dealt with just like Nuremberg. We don't have to go there and have a whole war with these people in a hot civil war via their coups or attempted coups to learn this. We're right. We've been proven right. Everybody needs to understand it. We know what we're talking about, period. And the debate is over. You have this globalist weasel, Clapper, who is a literal Islamicist turd, who is a traitor against this country, so arrogant, he's running his mouth and is allied with the globalists to open the borders of Europe up, bring in 80% military-age men, 10 million, to just piss on everybody and announce your homes are ours, your women are ours, and we've got Merkel and Clapper and all these and another Muslim globalist, Obama and his snapping turtle wife telling our kids what to eat in schools. I mean, we're in a giant cult here. And so we got Clapper on CNN with Wolf Blitzer, who, again, is an admitted Israeli intelligence operative. And I'm not against Israel, but he's a big leftist, known Mossad operative, formerly a section chief for Israeli intelligence. Yes, I'm telling you something that's quasi-classified, but it's known that he worked for Israeli intelligence. He didn't just work for the IDF's PR firm. Wolf Blitzer is a foreign agent up there with another Muslim agent. I'm going to throw up, man. All of them want to break America's back because they know they're foreign agents. And I've had it with the Chinese foreign agents and the Islamicist foreign agents and the EU foreign agents and the pedophile Pope and their foreign agents. And okay, I'm ranting. Let me just play Clapper in the interest of time. We got Owen Schroyer here riding shotgun with us today. We have the pastor coming on, big national pastor, Mr. Brown, friends with Trump, led the prayer meeting a few weeks ago with Trump, who met with the top congressman, Republican, who said, yeah, no, they've got the plan. They're getting it ready to have a coup. In the next 30 days, they're planning to do it. And then notice Clapper's on CNN going, it's time to have a coup against Trump. I mean, you know, he's telling you it's time to have a coup. It's up on Infowars.com. Let's go ahead and play the 1 minute, 10-second clip of everything I told you coming out in the open. And they come out in the open to normalize it. You say, well, they want surprise. No, they don't. They need to carry it out and have everyone go along with it. That means blow up Marine One when he's flying in it. That means having, quote, terrorists attack Air Force One on the tarmac. That means just SWAT teaming him, just firing rockets into the White House. I mean, quite frankly, Trump shouldn't even be in the White House right now. He should go to Fort Meade, or he should go to Cheyenne Mountain, or he should be in an arm and point all this out and put, tanks and helicopters around it and point out what they've done until they're all arrested. Shouldn't even come out of a bunker. I'm serious. They've got groups. That's why they keep selling this Russia thing, because they want to get groups in the government to believe he's really a Russian agent so they can get enough idiots ready to actually try this mission. I mean, can you imagine how dumb this mission's going to be? Because we're here exposing it from the very beginning. We're not just going to have them sell it to the American people and go try it, especially because I'm next in line downhill from this, okay? This is personal. And by the way, all of you that claim you want to fight the New World Order, this is it. But you all just expect it was going to take over and you'd have a shootout with some UN troops or something. That's not how this works. We started taking the government back. We're trying to save the country because we love our country, not because we're heroes, because we're not going to put up with a bunch of globalist turds like Madeleine Albright and Michael Moore ruling us. Let's skip this break. This is too important. Skip this one break. No, they give the network hell about it, but you know what? If the network doesn't like it, I'm just going to have to move on, because I just, our stations, we're going to a new clock starting, in like a month. The clock everybody wants. There's going to be less ads, but we're going to come in at 6 after, so I'm excited about all that. But right now, here it is. Here is Clapper. Hey, guess what, Radio Network? There won't be a show if they win and take over. See how that works? It's called Life and Death. I love GCN. They're great folks. I'm going to skip one break today, though. Let's go ahead and let's play the clip from L. Clapper.
But this is where the work of Robert Mueller is critical to our future as a country, because in some respects, we're a government and a nation in crisis right now.
You have confidence in this special counsel?
Absolutely.
You both worked with him for a long time when he was head of the FBI.
Absolutely. It was an inspired choice.
They don't come any better.
And nobody better than Bob Mueller, who is a straight shooter and will not be intimidated by anything.
And if he's fired by Mr. Trump, or is attempted to be fired by Mr. Trump, I really hope that our members of Congress, our elected representatives, are going to stand up and say enough is enough, and stop making apologies and excuses for things that are happening that really flout, I think, our system of laws and government here.
When you say enough is enough, if he's fired, and he's the president of the United States, he could tell Rosenstein to fire him if he wants. But if he's fired, what would you want Congress to do?
Well, first of all, I think it's the obligation of some executive branch officials to refuse to carry out some of these orders that, again, are inconsistent with what this country is all about. But I would just hope that this is not going to be a partisan issue, that Republicans and Democrats are going to see that the future of this country is at stake, and there needs to be some things done for the good of the future.
That's Brennan. He's also up there with Clapper, who told you there's no spy on the American people. It's all conspiracy theory. Perjured himself in Congress. And they think these guys are the co-presidents along with Mueller. Like even CNN and others have said, here's really who leads the country. It's Brennan, it's Clapper, and it's Mueller. And they're worshiping Comey, this Clinton appointee, this Obama appointee, this incredibly corrupt minion who 99.8% of their donations from Mueller's law firm go to the Democrats and go to Hillary. And everyone they've appointed on Mueller's team other than Mueller is Democrat, and 2 of them were fired by Trump. That'd be like if I was in a divorce proceeding, or you were in a divorce proceeding, and let's say your husband was a judge, and then he's the family court judge, and you've got, say, 5 kids, and you go in, and then he's not going to recuse himself when it comes up that he's supposed to be the person hearing the case. Your husband hears his own divorce case. That's right. And that's what this is. And they openly have Mueller's people out there shooting their mouth off in the news and then using NSA data transcripts that they've had from the beginning of a few meetings when Russians are coming out of the woodwork where the Trumps are meeting with Russians to try to get dirt on Hillary, who's known to have the Russians all in her business. So think about that. They think you're so incredibly stupid. And then they say, oh, we never spied. Remember back in a few months ago, there was a big controversy. Trump's a liar. Trump's crazy. No one ever spied on him. The NSA never spied on him or anybody. When they'd been in the news saying we have NSA transcripts proving all this, but wouldn't show them because they didn't really show what they said. Then they go, oh, no, we never did that. Now they're back again. Oh, we do have all the intercepts, and we were spying on them, but it's no big deal. Just like they have the Comey memo showing that Comey had done all this. Oh, excuse me, Freudian slip. They had the Comey memo where he illegally didn't give it to the Attorney General at the time, Loretta Lynch, and then Jeff Sessions, where he held on to it, obviously for blackmail. It was a classified memo, obviously a conversation with the president in private. He said it wasn't classified and perjured himself to Congress. Then he tried to hold it over the president's head, but the president bluffed him and said, we may have recordings. So he changed his story over and over again. And then meanwhile, we know he was the main leaker, and he admitted to being the leaker because he knew that Trump knew, because now that he was the president, he was able to have people go in and look at the NSA and see what they were up to and what they were doing. But because it's classified, he won't talk about it and defend himself. So that's how this whole wicked web that they've woven traverses this situation. And you have these arrogant, entitled, crazy people that are so arrogant that a newly elected president, about to be sworn in 2 days, you go on national TV and you say, you better watch your mouth. And then Schumer scrabbles onto CNN the day after the president's sworn in and says the president better watch out. The intelligence community has 7 ways to Sunday to get even with you. But then they go, oh, we're not getting even. Intelligence agencies aren't doing anything. We just have all these intercepts. But just like Comey said the memo had all this dirt, when he finally had to produce it to Congress in secret, it didn't have anything in it, and it was word for word what Trump had ever said. According to Congress, we don't know. It probably said that Trump, was evil and tried to buy him off, but he'd already testified that that hadn't happened on February 3rd, so then he couldn't perjure himself. See, Trump's got him caught on so many fronts, and they realize that, and so here's the $64 trillion answer. They're desperate. They're losing. They've lost control of the legislative, the executive, and the judicial. They've lost control of 30-plus state houses. They've lost control of close to 1,000 state reps. They've lost control of many of the mayors. Right now, the country, electorally, is about 70% Republican. That's why you look at a map, everything's blue, but a few red spots on the east and west coast and a few areas in Minnesota and Wisconsin and Chicago. And all of those are the high crime areas. All of those are the globalist areas that are under their big city control. Very, very sad. And they understand that existentially there's an awakening and that they're losing control and that they're not going to be able to teach your 5-year-old, how to be a tranny. And they're not going to be able to have the military wear red high heels. And they're not going to be able to bring in 50 million Muslims that'll be our bosses and be the CPS workers of the new police like they are in Germany. They understand their plan to kind of have their way with us, because that's the big goal, is to have this existential victory over everybody, this giant season of the cuck, this giant beta orgy. That's what communism and these authoritarian things are, is people that don't want to build things or do things or create things or fight for things. They just get together in big swarms and then come in and try to pull everything down as some simulated victory. It's what's going on in Venezuela. It's what's happening in North Korea. It's what's happening in many, many areas of the world. But all over the planet, countries are coming out of these cycles and experiencing these hells. And because of travel and the internet, the general public knows that globalism is a fraud. They know that globalism doesn't produce. They know it's designed to get people into poverty, and they're rejecting it across the board. So when we come back, I'm going to play that boil down of other big TV hosts and analysts saying they want a coup. But see, we don't need them anymore, do we, to say, oh, look, I'm right. We have Clapper, former head of all 17 agencies, and then you've got the former CIA director, Brennan, running his mouth saying we need Republicans and Democrats to come together bipartisanly and just agree we need to remove Trump. That's the talking point. But they think Congress is so dumb, and a lot of them are just lazy narcissists that got hired, that they're not even reading Foreign Affairs, Public Affairs, and Atlantic Monthly, which you really should read if you want to know, because the criminals can't help but brag. And they're in there going, we're going to have a whole new election run by Homeland Security, already under an executive order by Obama, and we're going to oversee and make sure that nothing ever happens again. Like what just happened in 2016. And we're going to have new elections and remove all these people because they all got elected illegally. They're not going to just sit there and let you go, oh, you're bipartisan, and we all agree to say, oh, Trump's an evil Nixon, and go along with it and all have another, phony consensus thing where we feel like we're part of the process, but we're really chump idiot morons. Leadership is doing the right thing when you see a wall telling you that you're wrong and a bunch of peer pressure telling you you're going to lose. I know we're going to win. We have the moral authority. We have history on our side. We have the facts. We have a strong president. We have history's tide on our side, but we become so peer pressure driven and so delusional, America could snap back into that delusion and buy into the hype and say, well, I was for Trump, but the Russia thing, and go along with it, especially if you see him get, killed in the middle of the night, play along with that. If you do that, you deserve everything you get because it's not going to give us any quarter then. They're going to come after everybody.
What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying.
Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com.